and then we do this.
It's yours. Whose world is this? It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this?
Multiversed. We are back. I'm here, your host, Bad Ty Bricks, with my co-host, none other than, introduce yourself to him, brother.
Tyrone Thornhill, here like every week. Good to see you again.
Every week, man. Consistency is the key, man, and I love it, man. This is, I want to say this is like our 7th or 8th episode at this point, man. I think we're at 7.
It's going fast.
7, might be 6 or 7, but I know we are here consistently every week, man. Rain, sleet, or snow, and it's wonderful to be back, man. How was your weekend, man? Like, I know it was.
You got to experience part of it,
yeah.
so some of it, and you know that part was awesome. That part was great. Overall, really good weekend. Got to spend some time with mom on Sunday.
That's cool.
My cousin and her daughter and stuff. That's it was a great weekend. Very thankful for that kind of weekend.
Yo, man, that's always dope, man. When you can spend time with the family and whatnot, man.
Oh yeah. And
seeing mom, of course, on Mother's Day. Shout out to all the moms. I know it's after Mother's Day, but I always want to big y'all up because without y'all, there is no us. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's always time to say what's up to mom.
Exactly. So we definitely want to big up all the moms. Hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. Hope you got all the presents and all the adorations you deserve. Big ups to all of y'all, man, for just being y'all, strength incarnate and just everything that we hope to be, except women. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed my weekend as well. Got to see I didn't get to see my mom. My mom actually was doing some babysitting for me, but shout out to you, mom, for doing that too. And also cleaning up my living room and stuff. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate that. Like, I walked in, it was like, wow, it's great. So thank you, mom. Thank you for being mom. Man, it's another week. We have something new this week. In our daily news. I'd like to bring on a special guest, man. This person is very close to my heart. You know what I'm saying? And she's close in person, like right next to me all the time. So I want to introduce my lovely wife, and she is going to bring us the news this week, y'all. So give a shout out to my lovely wife, Amy. Hey, baby.
Hello. Hey. Hello, everyone.
What's going on? You're looking quite tasty. I need to pardon myself, but damn, I mean, I gotta give props when the props is due. You looking good, girl.
I'll look down here and I'll do what you need to do.
That awkward moment. All right, so babe, you handling our news this week. What you got for us?
All right. So first up in the lineup, we have Phylicia Rashad being appointed as Dean of Fine Arts at Howard University.
This is big.
It is big.
This is huge. What do you think about that, Tyrone? Like, this is Miss Huxtable.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is like one of those long game kind of things where it's just like everything just falls into place, and I think it's perfect. It fits perfectly. Congratulations, Phylicia Rashad. That's awesome, and she's doing it. That's my opinion. You are doing it. Congratulations. Let me get out of your way so you can shine.
Yo, I'm so hyped for this because I think we as a culture grew up with this like, Mrs. Huxtable was like the nicest, coolest, sweetest mom. Everybody's wanted her to be their mom. No shots to my mom. I had a great mom, but if I didn't have you, mom, she would be first on my list. So it's really great to see, somebody transition from acting to a bigger role in society. And now she's going to be in charge of cultivating these minds with this fine art and bringing in good teachers and good staff and all of that, man. This is dope on so many levels, man. Congratulations. Let's give a hand clap for Phylicia.
Yeah,
man, you deserve it. You deserve it, man. You
And I
deserve
do
it.
want to add that she is a graduate of Howard University. She graduated summa cum laude from Howard University in 1970. So she is very familiar with Howard University.
Alma mater.
Yeah.
Celebrating the
That's her alma mater.
HBCUs.
This is dope.
That just makes it even sweeter. You know, I mean, that's a beautiful thing.
That's a wonderful thing. Thanks for that extra little tidbit there, Amy. So what else you got for us?
All right. So next, judge to consider aggravating factors in sentencing of Derek Chauvin.
I'm no legal expert, but I is there something that kind of explains that a little bit more? Like, could we go?
Yeah,
through,
let me go into some details. Let me go into some details.
Because I hope it's aggravating to him, whatever it is. I just, that's what I hope. But I don't know. I'm waiting for the excuses. You know what we're talking about? We're sitting here like, go on.
So it says in a court document filed Tuesday, Judge Peter Cahill said he determined several factors supporting an aggravated durational departure have been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, including that Chauvin abused a position of trust and authority, treated Floyd with particular cruelty, acted with children present, and committed his acts as a group with the active participation of at least 3 other officers. So it seems like they're looking at extended time with his sentencing with all of those added factors.
Thank you for that. Totally on board. I'm
I mean, when it comes to stuff like that, it, as much as I want to get excited for, the news when it comes to things like that, I'm still one of those people that I'm waiting for the sentencing day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's been the experience is like you get a little something, then you get disappointed. I mean, that's been the experience that we're all kind of used to. So, I 100% understand that sentiment. Me, I'm like a clinical optimist to a degree where I might need to be medicated. So, it's I'm all like, yeah, this is great until it's not.
Until it's not, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds good, but we'll sit back and we'll just wait until the sentencing comes, and we'll play it by ear until then. But yeah, I mean, I really don't have much to say about that. But great news. What else you got for us?
All right, let's see if you guys want to talk about this one. All right, so we have a rare spotted deep sea fish that washed up on the shore in Crystal Cove State Park. This is what we call a bioluminescent fish. So it is usually found thousands of feet down. Our son is very big on sea animals, so he always calls the midnight zone, where it's just dark. So this has washed up on shore. It is very, very, very rare that this happens. So this is something that we want to talk about. You think that this is contributing to some type of climate changes going on? How do y'all feel?
That looks like alien. Like I'm looking at this fish, and that reminds me of the little when the eggs hatched in Alien.
Oh,
and then they turned into the little squiggly things, and that's what that looks like to me. Like alien. That looks alien.
Yeah,
that's whoa.
It's nightmare fuel, 100%. But that's an interesting angle, though, the climate change angle, because those things obviously don't normally wash up on the beach when they die. Like there's some other stuff, like a disruption in that process has that thing washing up on shores where it has no business washing up. So there might be some questions to ask about, hey, what is it that happened that that's got this alien showing up on the beach?
And I think even to expound on that, it raises the question as what else is coming to float up on the beach? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if that's one thing that floated up, What else down there might just float up on the beach? Are we gonna, start seeing mermaids coming, mermen and
Yeah.
so the city of Atlantis?
We got Godzilla's gonna come.
Aquaman
Yeah.
coming to land.
Kaijus. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things it could be. The Dragon Zord.
Yeah.
that was a stupid Power Rangers reference for anybody who was ever in that time frame.
All right, man. So that's cool, man. We ain't gonna spend too much time on that. But what else you got for us? Is that it?
Keeping it in the realm of animals. Murder suspect is now caught, but the tiger is still on the loose.
Okay, you got
and
it.
This is in Houston, Texas. Apparently, this is a murder suspect that was out, and he had a Bengal tiger in his front yard. It was reported by his neighbors. They saw it wandering around his yard. When it is obviously not legal in their county, actually, but it is legal in Texas.
Of course,
within certain guidelines. So not only does he have tigers, but he also has monkeys as well. But having monkeys is legal in Houston, Texas, just in case anybody wanted to know if they, could have a monkey in Houston, Texas. So how do you guys feel about this?
That's a lot in that one headline. Like, I need to know the entire story almost. And I'm not going to ask you to go through it. I'll look it up and stuff after. I know we got a lot to get into today, but like, wow, that's so much story there for one sentence. And there's just a tiger like prowling the neighborhood right now.
And how is that? How is it that no one sees a tiger? A tiger just walking around. How does no one see? How did no one know that he had a tiger? The tiger just never roars, never makes a sound. Like does the tiger use the bathroom indoors? Like what?
That's a big litter box.
This was from the neighbor. So Jose Ramos, who was 50, he lives next door, and he was eating on Sunday evening when he looked out of his window and saw a tiger sitting in his front yard. He says, quote unquote, "I had to pinch myself. Was this real?" Ramos went outside to assess the situation and get a closer look at the tiger. His hands trembling as he snapped some photos and video. It seemed a bit skittish, he said, but he was making full eye contact with me.
So let me get this straight. He saw that he pinched himself just to confirm that he was not dreaming, and then he decided, because this is the intelligent thing to do, when you see a tiger, go outside with the tiger and inspect further.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you got to get good pictures. And he had an iPhone 6, so he couldn't take good pictures with it. He had to get close. The lighting was bad.
Wow, this story could have been so different. We could have been talking about Tiger mauls man for being nosy. Mm-hmm. Just not minding his business. But to anybody out there listening, if you do happen to ever by chance see a tiger roaming around your neighborhood, don't engage it. Don't go out and try to befriend. Listen, Tarzan is a movie. That's not real. You don't get to chill Shao Kahn or whatever his name was in
Shere Khan. Yeah,
Shere Khan. Yo, that's the type of tiger you're going to deal with.
That's some good advice that you should never have to use. Exactly. But good advice nonetheless. Yeah. Although
the tiger's still out there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
interrupt. Yeah, no, 100%.
The tiger is still out there. So
in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that man. You got anything else for us, Amy?
You have time for one more?
Sure. Go ahead.
If it's got tigers.
Okay, time for one more.
No, I'm kidding.
All right. So for the last story, Billie Eilish has switched up her signature look from baggy to corset, showing off the body right now. So she just did her cover shoot for Vogue magazine, and she is living in the moment. So how do y'all feel about this change that Billie Eilish has taken?
I'll let you go on that one, Tyrone. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, good for her. If that's what she wants to do, then yeah, good for you. I mean, that's she's I don't know how I feel like she's young, which like I don't know how young she is. So it kind of like
20, right? Like 20 or
She is 19.
19
oh
or
well,
20?
she's technically an adult, but yeah, it's like it's still when you see now this was her choice, and I hope that it was her choice, and she just made it like to be like I'm strong and that kind of stuff. That's great. I hope that it's not like a situation like when Britney Spears was sexualized and stuff like that, and then you end up down the line having some problems and stuff. So hopefully she's running the show. She's running the show. Good for you. Do your thing.
Yeah, I personally, I mean, I like the look for her. I mean, I think we all went through our baggy phase, and some of us still in our baggy phase. Not me personally, but if it's comfortable for her, and that's the route she wants to go, I'm as long as her music doesn't change, because I think that's ultimately what people are more concerned about, not so much what she's wearing. But it's not a bad look on her. I'll say that it's not a bad look on her. So shout out to Billie Eilish.
She does say, and I'm guessing this means that she chose to do this for herself, that she doesn't care what other people think. And showing your body and showing your skin or not should not take any respect away from you. So that was 100%. Her response to her new cover.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm like 100% agree with that. Yeah, you should. You especially for women. I know like that's a thing that has been wrong with the way the world is. Since day one. But like the idea that women have to look a certain way to be respected is just a ridiculous idea. And cheers to Billie Eilish for saying fuck off to that idea. Excuse my language.
All right. Well, Amy, we appreciate you coming and giving us the news. Hopefully we can have you back again next week to do the same. And we appreciate you taking the time to come and share with us.
No problem. I'm right here, right next to you.
Yes, you are, baby. Thank you. Bye.
Good night. Bye. Thank you.
All right, man. That's cool, man. So, you got the news out of the way. That was dope. Let's jump right into it, man.
Let's do it.
This week, man, I got a really special guest that I'd like to introduce. This person is very close to me as well. We're like family. And we've been talking for a long time, and she's very wise. And I wanted to bring her on because she's in the midst of writing a book right now. And I didn't know anybody better to bring on to talk about this subject than our next guest. And without further ado, I want to introduce everybody to our guest, Mrs. Maddie Akinyemi, or Yemi. What's
Yemi.
Going on?
Hey, how's everyone doing?
We good.
All right. Yeah, welcome.
It's wonderful to have you here today. Basically, we already talked about this. You know what it is. One of the things that we talk about all the time is parenting. You know what I'm saying? You're like an avid parent, and also, when it comes to parenting, you do a lot of research on the matters and everything like that. Tell everybody out there a little bit about yourself, and then we'll kind of go into some of the questions we have for you.
Okay. I am a mother of a 32-year-old son that I wish I had known what I know now then, so that I would have been able to help my son with that, teach him what I know now, but I don't. But I was able to experience that with my stepson. And it was a pleasure to learn that and experience that with him. And it was amazing to know that it does work. I didn't know it worked because I didn't try it with my son, but I was able to try it with my stepson. And and that's what I want to share to a lot of parents that think it doesn't work. It does work.
Okay. And where are you from?
Originally I was born in Puerto Rico and I
Okay.
was raised in New York, in the
There you
Bronx,
go.
fully down Bronx. And then I moved to Jacksonville, Florida 25 years ago. And now I'm in Orlando, Florida. I just moved here in August and I love it. I kind of wish that I had moved here a long time ago.
Mm. I got a quick question for you because I like I said, I wanted to jump right into it. Do you see like a difference in the way that people parent from when you came up to now? And also, do you also see like a significant change in how children act from then until now?
Definitely.
And there was while you were speaking earlier, there was this this new concept or idea that you had alluded to that you didn't have when you were when you were raising your 32-year-old son, but you did have with your stepson. What was that idea that you were alluding to, or this new concept or new idea?
Well, parents, the most loving thing that a parent can do is teach their children consequences. And that's where it starts. Consequences, privileges, is what, a lot of parents say, oh, they're just teenagers. And that's how teenagers act. Oh, they're just 5. Oh, they're just 2. Or they're just 3. It has nothing to do with the age. It has to do how you parenting.
Okay. And what kind of consequences or, like, how do you start to establish that? And what does that look like in practice? You know what I mean? Like, let's say kid's 5 years old, you say, don't keep that door open. Don't keep that door open. You tell them time after time after time. What does the consequence look like? It just as an example of the concept.
It shouldn't be time after time after time.
That's
it
true.
should be the first time and the second time that you're going to face some consequences. And that's where the problems arise. With parents keep saying, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. The child's like, I did. You should actually, the first time, tell them, hey, and then, and honestly, I never had to yell at my stepson. I never had to hit him. I never had to belittle him. All you have to do is tell him, hey, I would tell him, hey, buddy, I told you this once and you didn't do it. So just so that you can learn something, you are going to lose some privileges. You're gonna face some consequences from this. And in his case was more school-wise, misbehaving and stuff like that. And another thing, you shouldn't tell a child is you're being bad, because they're not. They're just misbehaving. Okay. So I would start with with 2 days of losing his privileges, and not just one privilege, all his privileges. Because if he loses his phone but he still gets to watch TV, he's like, I don't care. I'm still gonna watch TV.
Right.
So it's everything that I knew that he was passionate about, everything that I knew he liked. And it was 2 days. And he was fine with it at first. He was like, I don't care. I mean, he was very, in a way, disrespectful. And then I was like, okay, well, you do your 2 days and we're fine. We're back to giving him his privileges. After that, if he did it again, now his 2 days went to 4 days. Mm-hmm. And parents think, oh, that doesn't work. It does. Let me tell you something. I have a calendar of the punishment or the discipline that I had to do with my stepson. And it took 45 days for him to get it. The 46 days when he said, Miss Maddie, you're not gonna have to worry about this no more. I'm done. I mean, that's the 46 days. He said, I'm done. And I was like, you're done? He's like, yeah, I'm done. And it took him 46 days. I said, dude, it took you 46 days? It would have took me maybe 2 weeks back then if my parents had done this.
But
it took you 46 days? But
now my question is, in those cases of a period that long, because that's a long time. That's a month and a half. So,
but it wasn't 46 days. It wasn't 46 days. Wait, but it wasn't 46 days straight. I'm just saying that every time he did it, you understand? Like if he did it today, if he did his 2 days, and then like maybe 3-4 days later, he was good. He was good. Yeah. And then he misbehaved again, and then we added 2 more days. So then it was 4 days. And then he was good again. You know what I'm saying? But it took him 46 times, really, like 46 times before he said, I'm done.
Now, as a parent,
like his behavior, the teachers.
No, go ahead. Can you hear me?
I was listening to you. I have to put on my fan. I'm a little hot. The teachers would at my AC. I turn it off just because it gets cold and it gets hot. But the teachers even said, this he's a different child. I mean, he's behaving more. What are you doing? This is not the same child. And this wasn't the same school, but transcripts transferred over. Everything that he's done in his previous schools transferred over. And they said what we see in the transcript is not the same child as in our school. I mean, it had to do with, and you don't have to be a child. You don't have to yell at him and belittle him and curse at him and say you're stupid or whatever. Go in your room. You don't have to do that. You just got to take away what they like. And I guarantee you that if you stay consistent with that, they're going to get it. And then not only that, you're teaching them, how to be respectful, how to listen, how to not be, disobedient, how to, take control of their emotions, because he would get himself angry. He would hold his fist. I mean, you could see. And I was able to talk him down, and say, hey, calm down. I know you're upset. You're not used to this, but it's okay. Just breathe, count from 1 to 10. This is benefiting you. And he would look at me, and be like, And so he finally did. And he was like, Miss Maddie, it feels so good that I'm able to control that. Parents think, oh, they don't know. They little, they babies. They 2 years old. They 15. That's normal. There are thousands of people. There are billions of people that think the same and thousands that think differently. And we need to switch that.
Now, with the methodology that you're talking about, it seems as though as parents, you have to almost be just as resilient as the child is, because if it's 46 times, that requires you to be there each time he messes up to correct him. So you're
exactly.
You're basically correcting him 46 times, which takes time, out of your day and out of your life and everything like that. And I think sometimes
that's just 46 times.
That's just 46
times.
Just
46 times. If you don't do that now, you have 18 years.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what I'm basically saying is a lot of times when you have those difficult children that cause you to have to keep going back and back and back, a lot of times the parent caves. We cave. We're like, okay, look, I don't, I don't feel like doing this all the time. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of
they know that, and they know that you're gonna cave, and that's why they stay stubborn. But you have to mean what you say. It's just like a parent is in a car and says, "Hey, when we go in the store, do not ask me for anything." Okay, and they say, "Okay, Mom." And then they go in the store and they're like, "Mom, can I get this?" And she says, "No, I said don't ask me for anything." "Mom, can I get some?" "No, I said don't ask me for anything." "Mom, if you ask me one more time, you're gonna lose your privileges." If they know that word privilege, they're gonna stop. If you've been consistent with it. But if they don't, they're going to be like, "Oh, please," and then you get so frustrated because you're in a store and you're like, "All right, take it." But you just messed up right there. No, I said no, and when we get home, you're gonna face this consequence because it's unacceptable. I said no, and you have to respect that. I'm your parent, and there's a reason for it. When I can, I'm going to do it. I'm not doing it because I don't want to. It's because I can't. Or because you haven't deserved that. You haven't earned that. Not deserve it, but earned it. You understand? So that's the problem when we're having with parents saying, "Oh, but I tried that, and I just have to give in because they don't get it." Because you haven't tried it long enough. And believe me, you will. A parent love is tough. We love our children. Really, we really do. And we don't want to disappoint them. And we think that if we do, they're not going to love us back. Or they're going to be angry. But you know what? The most loving thing that a parent can do is teach their children consequences. So do it until they get it.
Now, also, I got another question. And my question is, what does a parent do? Because we have a lot of households, especially in the United States, that are single parent households. And, you have a child that goes and visits a parent and then goes back to a parent. So what do you do if you're the parent that gets visited and you have a totally different dynamic to your relationship with your child because you're not there 24/7 as the other parent is. So say you're doing your method of parenting, which is teaching them that, you know, they'll lose privileges and there's consequences to their actions, but you only see them a certain amount of time, which then, you know, they go back to a certain situation and maybe it's not the same type of methodology used over there. So if you're over here telling them it's consequences, but then they go to another place and it's no consequences, then how do you then navigate that type of situation?
Well, that's when your child comes visit you, because you're saying that your child's living with the parent, right? The other parent.
Living with the custodial parent. Yeah.
Right. And they come and visit you. You still get to do it because they'll know. They'll know who to play with and who not to play with. They'll know. If you don't have to be mean and say, hey, you ain't doing that here because that's how you do it in your mother's house or whatever. But you can tell them, hey, in this household, this is how I run stuff. In your mother's household, your father's household, however it is, this is how they run stuff. However you act over there, I will prefer that you would take what I'm teaching you over there. But whatever they accept over there is over there. But over here, this is how it's gonna go. And I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen when they get older. They are going to look at the person that requested that of them more valuable. They are going to look at that person and respect them more, because that person has helped them grow, has helped them be better. Parents fail to realize that we hinder our children. And there's so many adults in this world that are so dysfunctional. And they are so entitlement and angry and disrespectful. But it all comes from parenting. And then you have some adults that want to learn. Yes.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask you some more stuff because I you know, you're getting into some really cool areas. I noticed you using words like request that of them, and like the way you're talking to the kid. It's almost like you're giving them a sense of responsibility for their actions instead of just saying this is wrong, this is wrong. And it sounds like that's having a real positive effect on the way that they think. Like, so they have some sort of control over their life. Is that something intentional in the process that you're like, okay, this is a long-term game.
Yes.
This is building character.
Yes.
That's
Sorry,
interesting. And no, you're good.
Unlock. Yes, it is. It is. If you had to, it's just like there was times where I would tell my stepson, okay, well, you're punished now because, you know, I received a call from the teacher and you've done some stuff that you shouldn't have done. It was unacceptable. So which one would you want? I would give him a choice. Do you want to stand in the wall for an hour or do you want to read? Which one you want? I wouldn't be like, you're bad. You're going to go to the, you know, treating people like that, it just makes them feel worse.
Right.
So I would say, okay, Jeffrey, you know, what do you want? Do you want to stand in the wall or do you want to read? And he would pick read. Because he's like, I don't want to stand on the wall. I'm like, okay, now you're gonna read, but you have to come back to me, and I need you to talk about what you read. You're not gonna fool me and say, I read a book.
Right.
I need you to even take some notes. You know, put down what you've learned, and then come back. If we have time as human beings to get on social media, to play games, to go outside and smoke. I know I do. I go outside, smoke my cigarette or whatever. To go to the club, then we have time, even if it's an hour a day, to teach our children that's going to benefit them as adults. So when people say they don't have time, no, you do have time. You just don't want to put in the work.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So-
And I think it's not. It goes even further now because when I'm listening to what you're saying, I'm also remembering how my mom raised me and how I saw my cousins and, you know, people around me. We didn't have choices. Like that was never given. There was never a negotiation about anything. Like there was never one of those things like my mom sitting down and say, well, how do you feel about this? No. It was always more of a dictatorship. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you what it is. You do it. That's it. There's no middle ground in any type of situation like that. But what I see is this transition to this relationship with parent child now, where, for instance, my own child, my 15-year-old child, came to me and said, Dad, you need to respect me. And I was like, I looked at her and I was like, let's unwrap that. I said, now I can respect you as a human being, but if you're talking about respect you in the sense that I would respect an adult, I can't do that because you don't know the first thing about being an adult. So therefore, if I'm going to respect you on that level, that means that we can converse, we can talk, we can see eye to eye as adults. We can't do that. You're still in this position of child to adult lane, which I still feel there's a healthy gap, but I'm willing to listen as opposed to just tell you. Now, there are things that as a parent, you definitely, I think even to this day, are not going to negotiate with your child, just because you know that if you got into negotiations with a psycho, you're gonna get a crazy, because if you start sitting there saying, hey, let's negotiate, some of the stuff that comes out of your children's mouths, you're gonna be like, you're just gonna laugh in their face because it's so far fetched and no, go ahead.
But you still have to respect her. You still have to respect her or him. But what parents need to start working on is taking at least 1 hour a day and sitting down and explaining why she is the way she is, why the parent is behaving the way they are. I would take an hour a day with my stepson and we would read, we would watch videos. I wouldn't just say because you're supposed to, because I'm your parent, because I'm your stepmom, whatever. You're supposed, I would sit down and show him. And he has a journal. He has a journal of everything that I have taught him from videos. See, back in our days, we didn't have social media. We didn't have, YouTube. We didn't have that information. We have that now. So I would pull up videos, whether if he's emotional, if he's angry, if he's feeling entitlement, whatever he was feeling, we will pull it up and we will jot it down on his journal. And it was teaching him. So I don't have to treat him any kind of way because I'm the adult. I respected him, how he felt. If he felt frustrated, he was like, I feel frustrated and I feel aggravated and I feel this. Okay, well, let's pull it up and see why you're feeling that. These are generational curses from our ancestors, people that have done that, our great-great-great-grandparents that has passed on over to us. And nobody has taken out the time to stop it from here and teach them. Because we think you're the child, we're the adult, you're going to respect me. Yes, they have to respect you, but you have to respect them too as a human being. And then you will sit down and talk. And like I told you before, Ty, you sit down with your daughter and you say, hey, every time you come to my house, we are going to have an hour session. Whether you like it or not, we're going to have it. You're only getting her used to that. Mm-hmm. And she's going to start using that and practicing that. Because whatever we practice, we get good at. Whatever is good, whether it's good or bad. If we practice bad, we get good at it. If we practice good, we get good at it. So you're making her practice that, and she's going to start doing it. So every time she comes to your house, instead of using that, I don't need to respect you, you need to respect me, I'm the father. No. Hey, we need to sit down and figure out why you feel the way you do. Let's pull it up. YouTube, woohoo, everything's out there. And you will see she will have so much more respect for you, and she will look at you even after the assignment that you have going on and be like, wow, that was awesome. Mm-hmm. And that journal that you get her, that she gets to write down, she's going to treasure that for the rest of her life. She'll be 40, 50 years old and will always hold on to that book.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of our audience members, Lisa, who is our number one fan, and we are your number one fans as well, Lisa. She made a very good point. She said if it's a shared custody situation, both parents should be consistent with what they teach, so that the child learns from the consistency. Yes. And that's when people need to be adults and put their children first. And listen, in a perfect world, in a
Mhm.
perfect world, that would be, you know, what you would ideally want to happen. But we don't live in a perfect world. And when you're parenting one way and another person's parenting another way, it's like climbing up a mountain, you know, and someone pouring, you know, something slick down the mountain while you're climbing. So each time you climb and you get a little, you're gonna slip a little bit further down. So you never really have any consistency. So, like, you know, the point that she made is absolutely true. In a situation where you have adults being adults, but sometimes you don't have that, and that's wherein lies the problem when one parent is trying to parent one way and another parent is not parenting you know, in a similar way, not necessarily the same, because you don't have to parent the exact same way. Everybody has their own techniques, but if they align in a way that's significant enough to change the perception of the child, then you're doing a good job. And you know, again, Lisa, great point. But you know, unfortunately,
But it does work.
Not like that.
It does work because it's happened to me. I was parenting one way and the other household was parenting another way. The only thing that I can say that I came across, because I was consistent. I didn't care. I was consistent. I knew what this kid was capable of doing. I knew. So the only thing that would happen every time he went to the other parent's house, when he would come back home, the first 2 days, he would revert back to what he was over there.
Mm-hmm.
So it would take me a good day or two. Hey, you know, I wouldn't yell at him like, excuse me, do you know where you at? And then he would be like, oh, yeah, I'm at Miss Maddie's house. And he will revert right back to my rules because I was consistent. But if that parent is not consistent, whatever that child is doing in that other house is going to come back to that house and act the same way. And no, you're not consistent. So there is no changing. But if they know you're consistent, it might take a day. It would take maybe a day and a half. He will revert back right back. I would be like, hey, what are you doing? That's not acceptable here. And he would, and I'm gonna tell you afterwards, he told me, he said, I asked him, am I mean? And he said, no, you mean what you say.
That's dope.
That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's big.
Mm-hmm. That is big.
So when a parent tells me I can't because he's not gonna do it over there, it doesn't matter what he does over there. It's what goes on in your house. If he goes back over there, act like a fool, hey, in your house, it's a different story. And as he gets older, he's gonna see who was the parent that was in the right mind, the right mindset, the right parenting set. You understand? So stop worrying about what's happening in that other house. Worry about what's happening in your house and how serious you are and consistent you are. And your child is going to take you serious because, again, the most loving thing that a parent can do is teach their children consequences. And he's going to value that about you.
Okay. I can get on board.
I got another
I need
little
to get on board,
Ty. No, it sounds like because Lisa made a point about some old practices that still could be valid or still may need to be practiced and stuff. And what it sounds like is that it's not necessarily saying that the old way was wrong and we need to be doing it right. It sounds like there's kind of an evolution of the old way where discipline doesn't necessarily need to be physical and structure doesn't necessarily need to take away freedom. You know what I mean? It's just that, these are people that you're dealing with. And in order to kind of shape, a person in the way you want them to grow up, you kind of have to take different avenues. It sounds like this is just a side effect of knowing more, becoming more educated overall as people.
No, what?
No, go ahead, man.
You know what? When a kid starts probably around 3-4 years old is when you used to start using this technique. And by the time they hit 15, most parents say, oh, my teenagers, they're going to act like that. They won't act like that because they don't know. There's a pattern. And it's not that you're a mean parent or anything like that, but you're just teaching them. You're teaching them to be responsible. You're teaching them to be respectful. And it's like if I let my child jump on a couch, I'm allowing that practice in my house. Guess what's happening when I go to somebody else's house? They're gonna jump on that couch. And then when that person says no jumping, then they're gonna look like what like there's something wrong. Where if I say, hey, and I explain to my child, the reason why we don't jump on couches is because a couch is not a trampoline.
Mm.
That's where we sit at. You teach your children. Not that you're like, no, you're a bad kid. You teach your children. If back in the days, if there was adult speaking and the children interfere, what would the adult say? There's adult speaking.
Mm.
And my stepchildren, I have to say, my husband taught my stepchildren to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It's natural for them. It's natural for them. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to be like, what? And they'll be like, I mean, yes, ma'am. Since they were 1, it's a normal thing. So whatever you practice, you get good at. And that's what we're saying. We're not saying to be a bad parent or, to not let a child be a child. It's just, teach them what works. And you won't have a disrespectful child at 15 when you take the trash out. He's going to talk to you. Why do I have to take it out? Yes, ma'am.
I want to speak to TJ's point. And TJ, we love you, man. We appreciate you. But he made a good point. He said he disagrees. He said both parents must be on the same page. 2 messages will cause kids to rebel due to instability. And that was what I was speaking to earlier. If the whole purpose of the method of parenting is to mold the young child into a good adult, if that is the purpose of it, then it is, to me, important that the messages don't conflict, because that's what I was saying earlier. And you spoke to it and you said, don't be concerned with what goes on over there. Well, there's a problem there.
I mean, you should be concerned, but there's no way you can control that.
You're right. But that's why I said what I said, is because ultimately I'm talking from the perspective of the parent that is trying to implement the methodology that you're talking about, and how if you're the one that is not constantly with the child, that means you have the least impression on the child at that stage, especially if the child feels as though now when I go over to see my other parent, he's always pestering me. He's always trying to control me. He takes away my privileges. And then they go to the other parent and says, I don't want to see that parent. That's where you have the problem. Because now if you get the courts involved and you're like, okay, I'm going to make it to where you don't have a choice to come see me. Now the child is feeling like you're imposing. And it's a lot of different, things that come into play as a parent that's trying to do what you're saying to do. And that's what I was talking about. I know you're one thing about the scenario you gave is this was your stepson. There wasn't an issue of whether or not he was going to see his dad. That was already foregone. He was coming to see his dad regardless.
But his dad wasn't there. My husband is a traveler.
No. You're missing my point. What I'm saying is he was already coming, whether it was to see your husband or not. He was coming to the household where you were going to be. And so therefore you were already in kind of an embedded relationship. It was like, okay, now he's coming. I know he's coming. He's not coming. This is not. So you then found a way for you guys to coexist, that where your rules were maintained and he felt comfortable being there. You know what I'm saying? And then you were able to I guess, have a relationship with the mother to a sense where she respected you in what you were doing and wasn't necessarily trying to counteract it, like by saying, my child's not going to come over there. Like, I'm going to remove my child from the situation and no longer let you see the child. That's why it was one of those situations where you could navigate, because it wasn't you weren't being impeded, is what I'm saying, from seeing the child.
But this is why I had said to you, that when your daughter comes to your house, instead of you saying, hey, I'm sorry, whatever happens in your mother's house, not gonna happen here, talking like that.
I never say that,
remember,
by the way. I never say that, by the way. I've never said that.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying if that's how you felt, look, whatever. I'm not saying that you told your daughter that. I'm just saying if that's how you felt, like, well, in her mother's house they do a certain way, and in my house they do a certain way. But if you sit down before your child feels like you're the bad guy, and we did have a talk about this, before your child says he's the bad guy, because you said that I look like the bad guy, sit down with your child and start pulling up videos to teach them why you're the way you are. Not because you're better than her mother, or because you are stricter than her mother, or because you are lenient than her mother, or because you're better, but because you're trying to change your daughter's mindset. It's a parent that is a problem, right? Because you've seen it. You say, oh, she has this mindset. So when you take our time, not only are you taking our time, whether it's 30 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, with your child to teach them to better their mindset, she's feeling some kind of connection with you. Wow, he took our time to do this. At first they won't, but they will eventually. They'll be like, yo, every day, every time I come here, he takes out, not where he's exaggerated, because we don't want to be exaggerated. Like, kids don't want to hear, oh, how long are you going to go on this? But if you sit down and take 20 minutes, hey, let's just study. Let's have daddy and daughter, time. How you call it? I can't think of it. Daddy and daughter, what is it called?
Quality time. Quality time.
Yeah. She's gonna, everybody wants quality time. Everybody wants it for you. My stepson would remind me. He would be like, Miss Maddie, we didn't read today. And I'll be like, damn, dude, okay, we'll read. Right there, show me. He wants quality time. They do. Children want to be taught. They want the time. Parents think that they don't. There's a video that I sent you, I think, Ty, that it said, the little girl said, you said do it again. I did it again. Now what? Are you going to spend time with me? Remember that video? But it's sad because that's what they're craving for. They want that time. And parents are in denial. They don't want, oh no, they want to make 1,000 excuses. I don't care. I know it works. I'm not just talking out of my butt. I've experienced it. I know it works.
So
I've had problems with the mother. She didn't want to be on my page, but that's okay. Don't be on my page. But while he's in this house, it's going to be a different situation. If he has stayed living with me, he was with me for almost 2 years. If he has stayed living with me, it would have definitely been a different child.
But that's what, but I mean, you do see that had an effect on him, because the fact of the matter was when he was with you, you cultivated this individual, and that's what basically he presented himself as. But as soon as he left and he was out of your, immediate control and supervision, then he reverted back to what was comfortable. Because that's if he were comfortable being who you try to make him being, then he would be that regardless. When he would leave there, he would still be that person. But that wasn't the case.
It wasn't long enough. But it wasn't long enough. I only had him for a year and some change. It wasn't long enough. I think that if he had stayed living with me longer, eventually, it doesn't happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. And I even told that to his mother. It might take a year. It might take 2 years. It might take 3 years. I've been studying since 2009. We're in 2021, and I still do stuff that I know I shouldn't do. I still find it. I'm like, dang, I did it again. So nothing happens overnight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, mind you, I'm in my 50s, so of course it's harder to, to change bad habits. You know what I'm saying? He's a child. He was 5, 6, 7 years old. So that's when you have to start, because that's where you're building it, where it becomes a habit. Nobody could ever say that those kids don't say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. They'll be 50 years old still saying that, because it started when they were 1.
Absolutely.
So if you start at my whole point is if you start at an early age, you're building good habits,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to grow with them. Whatever we practice, we become. I have this
Mm-hmm.
thing here. It says what we learn becomes part of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
What we learn becomes a part of who we are. So my thing is, start with your children young and don't give up and say they're never gonna get it. Yes, they will. You have to stay consistent. You can't, but then you can't. You got to model what you're trying to teach too. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be a crazy ass loony and expect your child to be perfect. You have to
Mm-hmm.
change your mindset too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can I ask?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say what, because you said earlier that you did it the other way with your 32-year-old son. What was it that made you change your method of parenting? What was the the catalyst where you were just like, oh shit, like I'm enlightened, I have a new idea? Like what got you there?
Well, when I had my son, I was 21, and I tell you what, whenever my son misbehaved, I was mad at the people that didn't like that he misbehaved. Like most parents, I don't want to bring my child over there because my child's a bother to them. It's not that they're bothers, that you don't have control of your children.
Mm-hmm.
They run you. They run you. They tell you what to do, and that's what I was. You know what I'm saying? I've had cousins be like, "Girl, get a control of your child," and I would backslap him, bust his lip, thinking that was the right way. But I was 21. I was young, and it's when, as I got older, and it was even before I married my husband, and he came with children, I would see different, from like, my goddaughter, there was times where I would tell my goddaughter's mother, like, hey, we need to be different, but not by then I was in my, my 40s. You understand? I was late 30s, Ty? I don't know, 30s, 40s. But, it was late 30s. And this is when it came with maturity. I mean, so when I met my husband, I started reading a lot because I was like, wow, he's coming with children. And they were little. When I met my husband, their children was 3 and 4 years old. They weren't, teenagers. They were babies. So I started reading a lot. I mean, every chance I got, I read about, children, boundaries with children, and disrespectful children, and whatever I could put my hands on, I read, and I started learning. Wow, that's the book Boundaries with Children. I forget the name of the guy. I have it in my Kindle. The writer. It's awesome. It's an awesome book. It teaches you exactly what I'm saying. But parents want to be in denial and say it doesn't work. Study more about it, and you'll see that if you stay consistent with it, you will see a different child. Especially if you have a 2 and 3-year-old, it's the best time to start. It's hard to teach old dogs new tricks. So if you have a 15-year-old, it's probably going to be a little harder.
Yeah, it's hard to break that.
3, 4-year-old, but it's a possibility,
Mm-hmm. Do you have, you said Boundaries with Children, I think was the name of the book you mentioned, and maybe we can find the author, and post it on the page. But do you have, you talked about videos and stuff. Do you have any videos that you recommend that were kind of everything, or that gave you sort of your start with the video thing?
So am I able to write on there? I'm able to write on the post, right?
If you put something in the private chat, we could get it to them.
YouTube. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll do that. I'll go into my YouTube and pull up some of the stuff and some of the books that I read. I've read a couple books and that can actually help parents. I mean, when I say for you to be a bad parent or a parent that doesn't understand children or be mean, we're just saying to teach your children, to be better adults and more respectful and have manners and morals,
Yeah, Lisa.
And we don't like to go. We don't like to go to the public and have a disrespectful child because that's embarrassing to us. Where you teach them not to be like that. I've had people come to me at restaurants with my stepson and say, "Wow, that is the best kid I've ever seen in my whole entire life. He's so well behaved and he's so mannerable everywhere, from parks to movie theaters to the mall to the stores. restaurants, there was not one person that didn't compliment that kid. And I'm gonna tell you something else. My stepson wouldn't even look at nobody at one time. He wouldn't look, he wouldn't talk, he was just in his little world bubble. And we studied on that too. I would sit down for an hour and show him videos. And I told him, I said, first of all, you need to show people that you're aware who is around you, your surroundings. And then it got to the point where we would go to the store. He would look at the register, the lady at the register, and be like, hi. I mean, I was shocked when he did that.
Mhm.
This is from studying, you understand? From changing the mindset. Just like we can change our mindset, we can change our children's mindset, which only going to make them better to be better adults.
Yeah, like deliberately teaching the kids, because otherwise they're just going to mimic what they see around them. And, you know, sometimes what they see around them, you know, might be a little bit, depending on how much TV they watch and stuff like that, could be, you know, it could be misleading. So it sounds like it's a very deliberate way to teach a kid and to raise one.
Miles Monroe says, I don't know if you know who Miles Monroe is, but he said, people will ask him, how do you get your kids to read? He said, I don't. They watch what I do.
Yeah.
They're mimicking
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
He reads
TJ
all the
made a
time. My
point about
children, that's if I sit in the TV and watch TV all day, that's what they're gonna do.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, TJ made a point about that earlier. Yeah, that is one thing that children, especially at a very small age, emulate what they see. Now, when they get older, they still emulate what they see, but they also develop their own, you know, their own way of doing things. So if you are doing something negative, they may do it worse or better, or, you know, or whatever the case may be. But Maddie, like, I'm so glad you were here today to be able to talk about this with us. You know, this subject is very true and dear to me as a parent, because I love my kids. I only want the best for them. This is a book that I've been reading, and it's called Parenting from the Inside Out. As you can see right there, it's written by Daniel J. Siegel, a medical doctor, and Mary Hartzell, which I believe she's an educator of some sort. But one of the things that this book has helped me to see is it gives you a deeper self-understanding. So you have to understand yourself, and then like that kind of like, you know, overflows into relationships. The more and more you learn about yourself and learn about loving yourself and being true to yourself and your ideals and your morals and everything like that. And that kind of translates to a way of functioning with your children in an atmosphere where you're promoting growth, you're promoting success, you're promoting, you know, all of these good qualities and trying to push that out into them in a way to where it almost feels as though they're doing it all themselves, you know, like it was their idea, you know. So
right.
I'm still reading it. It's a very interesting book. Again, that name is Parenting from the Inside Out, if anybody out there wants to check it out. But again, I really appreciate you coming today and talking to us about this subject, because I know there's a lot of people out there dealing with parenting issues with unruly children, and a lot of times one of the things that it talks about in the book is people, places, and things. You know, being wary of who your child is interacting with. Be more, because a lot of parents are like, they feel like they're getting in their child's business. They're like, I want to give them their privacy. Listen, that is a mistake, parents. Don't give your children privacy. I'm telling you from experience.
So if you start, like, again, if you start from when they're little, they would know there's certain things that you should not be doing. Mm-hmm. I mean, as human beings, we are, but then they'll have a conscience and know this is not right, and this will disappoint my mom and myself as a human being as I get older. But you know, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. But again,
I just want to end it with this. And it's ask yourself what's really important, and then have the wisdom encouraged to build the child's life around that answer.
Okay. I can take that. I can swallow that one. That I can deal with. I mean, listen, we're gonna wrap the show up soon. We got one more topic to talk about. You can stick around with us and chime in if you like. And this one is this one's close to my co-host's heart. Yeah, so I don't know if everybody heard, but Jesus is playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like our own Tim Tebow is now back in the NFL. My co-host seems to not like Tebow time, but Tebow is blessed by God himself. He might be the reincarnated version of Jesus. I mean, this is a kid that ever since college, high school, no one has had a bad thing to say about him his entire career, football commentating, everything. Like, no woman has said anything bad about old Tim, other than he wouldn't give it up. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, how could you not like that guy to come to your Jaguars, man?
Well, I do want to correct you. A lot of people, nobody has anything bad to say about him personally. Now, his football play, on the other hand, is a completely different story. For example, jumping into the league as a professional in a position that you've never played before, little things like that. I'm a longtime Jags fan, and this idea is I laugh at it because I think it's only going to end in more laughter. I think it's just going to be one of those little, like, every season as a Jaguar fan, there's like some disappointment, and this is going to be the one. It's like we got this first round, best quarterback in a generation kind of dude, and then also they're like, people are taking us way too seriously. Call Tebow over here. We're going to go ahead and sign Tebow so he can run around the field and get footballs thrown at his head, which was how his only play at tight end for the Jets ended. You might remember. You're a Jets fan. You might remember that. Mark Sanchez throwing Tebow a pass and hitting him in the helmet.
Yeah,
those kind of things. It's you've had the joke. You've had the joke player before. I mean, Mark Sanchez was that guy for you. Butt fumbles and flinching at the line. So it's
something about being out there in New York, man. That just big city, big lights. Those lights seem to shine in a lot of players' eyes. I guess I don't know, but I'm a little I'm looking at it from a different perspective, and the perspective that I'm looking from it as is, Tim Tebow is a proven leader. Number one, he led the Florida Gators to multiple national championships. He also, at the time, led the Denver Broncos into the playoffs. I didn't say he won. He got him into the playoffs. But more, it was more about him stepping up as a leader and being that guy that everybody kind of like respected, in essence. Maybe you're talking about his football play. I think they brought him there for leadership. They got a brand new coach. You got young players. You have the players from last year who, let's be honest, have a culture of losing. And I think you bring in Tim Tebow to motivate everybody, and also put like in the locker room this, because remember when he was with the Denver Broncos, when he was with the Jets, with everybody, he prayed. He prayed every, like in the locker room, and had all of the players joining hands in prayer, and everybody loved Tebow. Like, everybody that I've seen do interviews, everybody talks about how good of a guy he is. And I think if you're bringing him in for that, like, I don't think anybody really thinks he's going to be, the next Gronk or anything like that. But let's be clear, if he can catch, if he has been practicing, I don't know. I know he played baseball. I know he's super athletic, and I know if he can catch some balls, then cool. If not, he can be in the locker room and kind of uplift the team when they need a nice little.
But I mean, there's a word for that type of leadership and that type of like rah kind of stuff, and it's coach. And there's a bunch of those on the Jaguars already. And you don't need to put him in helmets and pads. If he's just supposed to get people pumped up on the sidelines, you could just make him an assistant coach or something. You know what I mean? Like, why take up a roster spot with somebody who's just going to be like making guys feel good or whatever? You know what I mean? I don't buy into all that. I don't buy into all that that rah stuff, because for all the Denver stuff and the New York stuff, you know, when the W stopped coming, nobody was like, hey, we got to keep Tebow around here for the respect. They were like, oh, you cut Tebow? Good luck, man. See you next time. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, when you're not winning, none of it matters. You know what I mean? So that's I don't buy into all the Tebow stuff. I mean, sure, he seems like a great guy. And I'm sure he'll one day make a really good football coach. But until that day, until he starts coaching, I think he needs to go ahead and stay on the outside of the white lines and not, you know, not be this guy. Yeah. I mean, you know, and maybe even as a team chaplain, you know what I mean? Teams got chaplains, you know, he can come in and he could just like, you know, and you can give him like a special uniform or something like that with a robe or something, you know, do something like that if you need like, you know, kind of another mascot. But, you know, we don't have Jackson Neville out there catching seam passes. You know what I mean? Like he's out there doing the mascot.
I think ultimately I'm going to be right on this one. I think he's going to go. I mean, really, because look, they may have lost a roster spot as of now, but he hasn't made the 53-man cut.
Right, of course.
Like, so
yeah,
let's be clear on that. So
do you think he makes the 53?
No,
okay. Well, then, yeah, we're fine then. We're good.
I don't think he makes the 53. But prior to him making the 53, I think he inspires. I think he brings like that, because everybody for so long thought that, you know, Tebow had a direct relationship with God. And so they were like, yo, if we got him on our team, we're not going to lose.
I'm going to say, I'm going to slow down on, everybody. I'm not included in that, everybody. I don't think Tim Tebow is anointed as some sort of savior. I think that he just, you know, ran fast. And,
God. Like, come on, man.
He was just an athletic dude.
Biggest Tebow hater, man. This dude like, didn't he win a Heisman?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he definitely won a Heisman. Yeah. I mean, he was a good college.
I want to say in college he was throwing for over 4,000 and rushing for over 1,500.
Yeah, and if he went back to play a college anything, like I would be like, good for you, Tebow. Go ahead but his NFL career left a lot to be desired, and he's going to be 34 going into this season. You don't just get better at football sitting around.
No. Are you forgetting who your coach is?
Urban Meyer. I mean, if Urban Meyer's got some like fountain of youth type stuff, or like, you know, maybe just some magic formula to make a guy all of a sudden be an expert at a new position, then you know, more power to you. But that's also considering he makes the fit. He's not gonna. I hope he doesn't make the 53-man roster. If that's the case, we need to shop better for tight ends, because damn.
I mean, well, let's be clear. You guys don't. I don't think you guys really have anybody at the tight end. I think
tight end. It's pretty bad. We drafted a guy in the middle of the draft or whatever. But
yeah. You know. So I mean, if you have an open spot, you know, I think Tebow might make the cut. He might make the cut. And the reason being is because, and again, Urban Meyer got a lot out of Tebow at quarterback. For all we know, Urban Meyer is a trick. He is a trick play. He will do trick plays. He might throw Tebow in there and you know, do something crazy, some type of trick stuff. But look, man, I don't think Tim Tebow is going to lead, you know, the Jacksonville Jaguars in any way, shape, or form to a Super Bowl or anything like that. But I do think it will be great for the organization. I lived in Jacksonville. I used to be around a lot of those players. I know what those players are into. And if anybody can come in and change the hearts of those players and maybe possibly get them to feel bad about what they do, I think it would be Tim Tebow.
Okay, I understand that point of it. But I'm saying if we're just like, if we're kind of recruiting those guys, then I say get Kirk Franklin and put him at running back, and really let's get this thing going. Like let's stomp all over the football
all
field.
Over the field, man.
Yeah, all over the field.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Like let's bring it back, man. Let's bring it back. Look, Jacksonville. I'm really not a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. I'm a Jets fan, and I hope you know we play y'all. Oh, yeah. So you know, it's definitely no love. But Tim Tebow, I've always liked Tim Tebow. I like Tim Tebow in college. I actually thought he was overrated, and it kind of turned out that way when he got to the NFL. But I think for what he brought to Florida and what he represents, I think it would be good for the city of Jacksonville. I think. First of all, I know a lot of people in Jacksonville that love Tebow, like love Tebow.
Mhm.
So if for nothing else, then you know, having fans who maybe were fair weather fans, to have them come back into the fold. Hey man, if that works, if that does it for Jacksonville, man, then more power to the Jags, man. I hope for Tebow's sake he really does his thing, man.
I hope for my sake that he he decides this is a terrible mistake.
I don't know, man. Tebow, I think the first time Tebow catches a pass and runs somebody over, you're gonna be like, "Whoa!" I think you're gonna sweat. You're gonna change your whole. You're gonna be like, this dude. This is what we needed the whole time, man."
I feel like we need to make some sort of prediction or just like, what does it look like? What does it look like if you are right, and what does it look like if I'm right? So we can revisit it and we can talk about it.
We will definitely revisit.
So what does it look like if you're right? Like if Tebow's what is a successful Tim Tebow look like in Jacksonville? I'll let you.
Oh man,
Yeah.
A successful Tebow, I think, catches for 500 to 600 yards. Because I really don't think you guys are going to be using their tight end that much. But 500 to 600 yards, and this is probably stretching it. 5 to 6 touchdowns.
Okay, so in this scenario, he makes the squad. He probably starts because that's a lot for a Jaguars tight end, and historically, so starts and then actually contributes to the team. Okay, and my guess is that if he makes the 53 man roster, which I think is a long shot, then he will be a gadget tight end and probably not get a lot of playing time, and that would be that. And I would still be like, this is ridiculous, but that's just me. I think it's a stupid move, but that's me.
We're going to see, man. I think they can move him all around the field. That's the thing about Tebow is you can literally move him around the field. You could put him in at tight end. You could put him in at quarterback. You could even
put him in the locker room, put him on the bench.
You could throw him in the backfield. He could run the ball for you. There's a lot of things Tebow could do for you, man. And all the while uplifting the locker room. So, yo, man.
I love this. I do love that conversation. It's fun. It's a fun conversation.
I think we've spent enough time on Tebow, man. I think our love relationship is over. But yo, man, we're at that moment where we are every week, and as always, it's been a pleasure. And I know Absolutely. That Maddie coming through was dope. We really appreciate you, Maddie, for coming through and sharing your thoughts and sharing your opinions on parenting in this pandemic and everything like that. I'm gonna give you the floor, Tyrone. Go ahead and tell the people what you want to tell them, man.
Follow, like, and share Multiverse. We're having these kind of conversations every week, and we love to see people joining us and commenting. Keep those comments coming. You can see both of us on Saturday morning on the New Blurred Order every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. It's worth waking up for. So join us and jump in the comments and say what's up. And keep an eye out. I'll be posting comedy dates soon to the Multiverse page and probably the New Blurred Order page too. And just so I can get out there and see y'all in person and meet everybody and have a good time. But thank you for watching.
Well, Maddie just joined us back, so let me go ahead and give her an opportunity to let the people know where she's at. There you go.
All right,
Maddie, I'm going to give you the floor, and you can go ahead and tell people how they can get in touch with you and share anything that you got going on and whatnot. You there? Maddie, are you there?
I wonder if audio's out.
Can you hear me? Okay, Maddie, you can't hear me? All righty. And she's just looking. Are you just you modeling? Can you hear me?
Maddie, can you hear me? Maddie, can you
No,
hear me?
no.
Yes, I can.
There we go.
You had volume all that time?
Yeah.
Ty's thing is kind of moving a little funny.
Okay. Well, what I'm doing is I'm giving you an opportunity to go ahead and tell people where they can reach you and get at you. And anything else that you got going on that you want the people to know about.
I'm sorry, I was getting a call.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't know if you heard Ty, but he was saying, take a moment, tell everybody like where they can reach you, what you got going on, where they can see you, anything like that.
On here, are you guys off already?
No. You're live right now.
We're still live.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure. I was writing down. I was trying to pull up all the information that I have. So, my name is Maddie Akinyemi. I have a YouTube. It's called it's on Maddie Akinyemi, but I don't have any of that stuff on there, which I'm gonna start doing. But do you want me? How do I send this? Because this is like my first one, guys. So I'm just getting into
you're good.
Of it.
So what we can do, Ty, I don't know if you think this is the right way to do it, but if Maddie puts our stuff in the private chat, we can just share it to the page after the show.
We can do that as well. So, Maddie, what you would want to do is just on the right side. Well, I don't know where it's at because you're on your phone.
On the phone, that's right.
But there's a section that says post a comment, and you can post a comment and share any links to the books or just the names of the titles and authors or anything like that. And what we'll do is we'll share it to the comment section after the feed, and then people can reach out or go and check those resources out.
Okay, I'll do that now.
Okay. So if anybody wants to reach out to Maddie, you can reach her at Maddie Akinyemi on Facebook or also on YouTube on her YouTube page with the same name. Thanks again, Maddie. We appreciate you coming. It was great to have you as a guest. I told you it wasn't that bad. And you did a great job, and we look forward to having you again.
I appreciate it. It was an honor. I really did appreciate it. It was great. I was a little nervous. It was my first one, but I know we practice it'll get better. I definitely do it more to not to think that I know it all, or that I know better, or that I know more than people, but to help people. It does work. It does work. I've experienced it. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And as for me, guys, you can always get at me at Bad Ty Bricks on Facebook and also on Instagram. You can get at me at Tyleen Robinson. You can get at us on the Multiverse fan page. Please go like, follow, share, subscribe, all those things. The YouTube page will be up. I think it's up now, but we haven't posted to it. I will be posting to that either tomorrow or today, but don't hold me to today. So it's more like tomorrow. Yeah, man. It was wonderful to have Maddie here. As always, it's a joy to be here on Multiverse, to be able to talk to you guys and share our thoughts and opinions. As Maddie stated, we don't feel like we know everything.
Right.
We don't prescribe to know everything. But we know a lot about a little. You know what I'm saying? A lot about a little here, a lot about this, a little bit of that. So ultimately, man, listen, people are gonna like you, people are gonna not like you, people are gonna hate you, people are gonna not hate you. One of the biggest things is use information. Knowledge is power. And put yourself first. And while you're at it, go ahead and get this right. Stay multiversed. You dig? Peace. Until next week, y'all.
It's yours. Whose world is this? It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose